Alright, so you want to learn how to calculate the word manslaughter in the English Duos Gematria Cypher, which equals 666 in one spelling and in one set of values, which is in the Ordinal Duos Gematria Cypher. So really, this is for people who have had some time experimenting with kind of the gematria that Zach Hubbard teaches and how the different alphabets are structured and why certain numbers occur with certain words. So I'm just going to go through and show you how to calculate the word manslaughter with the English Duos Gematria Cypher in all of its spellings, in ordinal and in reverse. Alright, so this is my first video calculation, and I'm doing it with such a significant and special word, which is manslaughter, to show you why the English Duos Gematria Cypher, which is what I call it. I don't know what the occult calls it. I'm going to show you why the English Duos Cypher is extremely important and why words that equal the way they do in it are numerically important. And words like manslaughter, which equals 666, like I will show you, fit with the word, and in this cipher, at least for me, it teaches me how to be, I guess you would say, more mindful about what the numbers mean and how the knowledge of them can teach us how to respect others and teach us how the world works. So if you have not seen my introduction video to the English Duos Gematria Cypher, please go look at that first, because this will not make any sense to you as far as the different types of spellings go and the different types of numbers. And before we get into this calculation, remember that in the link there is a PDF for the ordinal and the reverse Duos Gematria Cyphers that I have linked in there. I'm sorry about the format. Google Drive formats PDFs a little oddly, so I try my best. It took me a long time to do those, so I really hope you enjoy them, and I really hope you use them. Also down there is a practice calculation sheet. I recommend just using lined paper like I have right here. But if you feel the need to, or if you feel like you need like a template to help you at first, please do use that practice sheet. And I will make a video on how to use that. I know it's a little confusing. I did some bad formatting. At some point I'll make a new one. But let's just get into manslaughter here. So remember, from the introduction to the Ordinal Duos Gematria Cypher, we have a few different kinds of spellings. There is the single first spelling, or in other words, a single first priority spelling, which means that the first letter of a word is going to be a single letter. So my shorthand for this is DSF, which stands for Duos Single First. And in manslaughter, the first letter of the word manslaughter is M, right? So we have M and then AN, which, remember, we pair the letters up now. So AN now becomes one character and becomes the character AN in the Duos Gematria Cypher, which in ordinal duos equals 39, and in reverse duos it equals 313. And remember that this first character in the single first spelling is M, and M is the 13th letter of the alphabet, so it is has a numerical value of 13 in the ordinal spelling, and in the reverse duo spelling it has a value of 339. So the next two letters that we remember pair up together in Manslaughter are S and L, which has the value of 253 in the ordinal spelling and 99 in the reverse spelling. And remember, if this character was NA, it would have these same values. And if this character was LS, it would have these same values. Right? Because remember, the order doesn't matter, but the character does. Because S and L are composed of the same English letters as L and S. So moving on, we have AU, which in the ordinal spelling values, it equals 46, and in the reverse, it equals 306. The next character is GH, which equals 162 in the ordinal and 190 in the reverse. And then we have TE, which equals 135 in the ordinal, and then 217 in the reverse. And the last character is 18, or is R, which equals 18 in the ordinal value, and then 334 in the reverse value. So in a second, we're going to add these up. Remember that this was the reverse duo's single first spelling. And let me just write Manslaughter right here. Excuse my handwriting. And I've already added these up, but I suggest that you add them up and spell this word out on your own, just for practice, just so you get used to it. But I already have the values added up because it's quick, and the first value you get for Manslaughter, where you add 13 plus 39, so on, is 666. Now how fitting is that? And I guess the main reason why I chose Manslaughter is because 666 appears in this first value set. But also notice that Manslaughter equals 1798 in the reverse duo single first spelling. So 1798 with numerology, where you split the hundredths and the thousandths with 98, and then you reduce those numbers, so 1 plus 7 equals 8, and then 9 plus 8 equals 17, and then 1 plus 7 equals 8, we see that there is an 88 value, right? And 8 plus 8 equals 16. And I don't know if you've ever heard, but 666 is not the only number associated with I guess, what, the Bible calls the beast. There are 636, 6 3 score 6, and then there's 616. Probably that's just because certain words in English ended up calculating to that. But, like I said, with the mysterious occult, I don't know. I don't know, and I don't have every answer to all those questions. And that's part of what we do with Gematria, is we try to understand the occult so that people understand what their business here on Earth is. So I'm just going to move along, and actually before I do that, I want you to notice something. So manslaughter is interesting because in the single first spelling, it begins with a single character and then ends with a single character and has all these characters in between it. And if we look at the letters that are the single characters in this word, they are M and R. And in English Ordinal Gematria, actually specifically English Full Reduction Gematria, which is the English Gematria with the rules of numerology, we see that MR equals 4 and 9, because M is equal to 13, and then R is equal to 18, and 1 plus 9 equals 8. So here is the English Ordinal, and here is English Full Reduction. So 49 is a special number. Manslaughter equals 49 in English Full Reduction Gematria. And I encourage you to just go onto Gematrinator and look that up yourself. Another interesting fact about the number 49 is that the recent shooting in New Zealand, which was of a supposed white supremacist that went and shot up a mosque and ended up killing 49 people, if you write 49 dead, that equals 666 in reverse satanic gematria. So that's just a interesting side note about 666. So now I'm going to show you the duo's single last priority spelling of manslaughter, and additionally show you the reverse duo's single last spelling. So just remember that in the single last priority spelling, it just means that you don't prioritize a single letter first. So you will have always a double letter character, which is most of the characters in the duo's Gematria Cypher, first, unless if it's a word that starts with two of the same letter, like aardvark or eel. So let's go ahead and spell manslaughter with this. So MA, which is equal to 38 in the ordinal spelling, and then 314 in the reverse duo spelling. And if you haven't seen my video on this channel about 314 and MA and AM and magic and manipulation, I highly suggest you go watch it. It's very interesting, and it explains things like the Donald Trump MAGA movement and Freemasonry. So moving along, the next character in manslaughter is NS, which is equal to 278 in ordinal and 74 in reverse duos. And then the next character is LA, which is equal to 37 and 315. And the next character is UG, which is equal to 175 and 177. The next character is HT, which is equal to 192 and 160. And the last character is ER, which is equal to 133 and 219. And remember, please do this on your own to get some practice. I guarantee you that you'll be able to do this very quickly once you get the hang of it. So, in the ordinal version of the Manslaughter and the Duos single last priority spelling, we get the calculation 853. 853 is kind of special because with numerology, if we split the hundredths with the tens and the ones and use the rules of numerology, which would mean that 5 plus 3 is used, we get 88 again. Moving along, in the reverse spelling of the word manslaughter in the duo single last spelling, we get the number 1259. And 1259 reduces to 3 and 5, which is 35. As far as 35 goes, Baphomet equals 35. But I'd like to do a little bit more investigation on that before I make any assumptions about those numerical essences. So something special about the English Duos Gematria Cypher is that when you add the values together, so of each type of spelling, so 666 plus 1798, the values for most words come out to a certain set of numbers. In this case, for the single first spelling, it's 2464. And then in the single last spelling, where 853 plus 1259 is added together, we get 2112. So I'm still trying to figure out what these numbers indicate, but when we use the rules of numerology, where we split the number in half and then add the two numbers together, 2 plus 1 equals 3, and then 1 plus 2 equals 3, and then we get 33, one of the most important numbers in the study of gematria. Words like police equal 33 in English full reduction gematria, which is considered by people like Zach Hubbard to be the most pure cipher. And I would say that's probably true. So these numbers here, they will always come out to a certain set of numbers. So those numbers are usually for like a shorter word. It'll be 704. And at some point I will have many examples of this on my channel. But for shorter words, it'll be like 704. If you don't know the significance of 7-4, you should know. In English Ordinal Gematria, Jesus equals 74. Messiah equals 74. Lucifer equals 74. Muhammad equals 74. Just know that that is a very significant number, and it just happens to be one of the significant numbers that are always calculated when you add the values of the reverse and the ordinal spellings together. When you add those two together, you get the number 4,576. And that number reduces to 94 because 4 plus 5 equals 9. And 7 plus 6 equals 13. 1 plus 3 equals 4. So there you have it. Manslaughter calculated in English Duos Gematria. Look out for more videos and keep up the calculations.